Good morning and welcome. It's a lovely grey miserable Monday morning in January, and today I'm bringing you another foundation review. The one I'm doing today is one of the newly released foundations by Nars, and it is this one. Right, you have to forgive me here because the titles of these foundations are getting longer and longer and longer. So this one is called Nars Radiant Longwear Foundation. One fluid ounce, 30ml. So the shade I have it in is Manaus. I think that's how you pronounce it. Manaus. It's interesting because I actually went in store. So I went into a Brighton Space NK. I actually went in and I said, look, I think I'm probably around the shade Igasu or New Caledonian. I'm not quite sure. Is it possible that I could have a sample and a skin match, please? She was very much, it was almost like she didn't want me to take a sample away. It's like she wanted me to buy there and then. It was like, I said, no, I'm not going to buy it now because I want to test the sample. I want to see what it's like in daylight and I want to see if it oxidizes on my skin before I buy anything. And you could almost see she was like, roll the eyes, and that was it. It's like, right, okay, fair enough. So anyway, she did in the end. She put it on my skin in the shop and she matched me to this colour, Macau. And which looks like that, and I'll put some of this on my skin to see what it was like. And in store, I'm not joking, in store it looked all right. So this is the shade she matched me to. So you can see that. So in store it looked all right. It looked okay. When I got home it was a completely different colour. So I took the risk and ordered another shade online, and I ordered, as I said, I ordered Manaus, which is this one here. It looks a bit more red and a bit darker, but I think it's actually better. So I'm just going to put a little bit of this on the other side of my chin, so it's a little bit there. So you can see it's a darker colour. But I think once I blend it out, I actually think it's better for my skin. This is the one I went with anyway, and that's the one I'm going to wear today. So let me put my primer on and I'll tell you a little bit about the foundation. There's my primer. I've already put the Fenty Beauty primer on. So for those of you who have never visited my channel before, hello and welcome. I've got very oily skin, very, very oily skin, even though I'm nearly sort of on the wrong side of 40, going towards the big 50. I've got very oily skin, I've got hyperpigmentation, I've got and I've got blemishes as well, so I've got all of that going on. I look for foundations that advertise as long wear, or they're oil free, or they control oil, or they're mattifying. So those are the kind of terms I look for in foundations. If they say transfer resistant, even better, but I don't believe any foundation is transfer resistant for too long, because once the oils start to come through, everything starts to melt and any resistance it had is gone. I'm just going to put my Becca Ever Matte Poreless Primer on. This is my go-to primer for my very oily skin. Right, so whilst I'm waiting for those to do their thing, let me read you about this foundation. So it's called the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I've got it in the shade Manaus, M-A-N-A-U-S. It costs £35 in the UK. There's a whole lot of shade. There's something like 33 shades, and on the narscosmetics.co.uk website it says there's longwear and then there's strongwear. Introducing Nars' first 16-hour foundation that stays turned on by the power of radiance. Untraceable, unstoppable, unlike anything else. Longwear is finally lightweight and radiant. High coverage is now supernatural. Its breathable, fade resistant formula is infused with raspberry, apple and watermelon extracts to help smooth and improve the look of your skin instantly and over time for full powered radiance. It wears longer, stays stronger and looks better with each hour. Specialized skin matching technology ensures your truest match yet. Your future looks radiant with Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. And there you go. It says it's ideal for medium to full buildable coverage. perfect. Skin type normal, combination and oily skin types. And the finish is natural radiant finish. Now usually I stay away from anything that says radiant because I have got oily skin. I'm looking for oil control and mattifying and natural matte finish. That's the kind of finish I like. I hate cakey, which for quite a few years that was the results you'd get with anything that's going to give you a mattifying finish. But technology has improved so much now that a lot of foundations are managing to give more natural finishes, which is nice, which is good. So the formula fact says it's transfer resistant, sweat resistant, fade resistant, non-drying, paraben free, alcohol free, oil free, fragrance free, dermatologist tested and non-comedogenic. I can never say that word. So it says all wonderful things. So let's see how it actually performs. Let me just see how these two colours are looking on my face at the moment. Okay, so that's the Macao on my face. I actually think this is going to look a little bit pale and ashy. It probably looks all right on camera, but I don't trust it. I think it might look a little bit ashy over a while. It probably won't cover my blemishes, and because of that, that means it's too light. I am going to go for the Manaus. It's a little bit more red, but I think it will cover my dark hyperpigmentation better. If my skin was clear and clear of blemishes, then I probably would have gone for the Macao, but because I have got the blemishes, I am going to go for the darker colour and then see how we get along. It looks like there's a bit of a line of demarcation between this colour and my neck, but I'll see if I can blend it in and get away with it. Right, so stop waffling, Sandra, let's get on with it. So I'm going to do one half of my face with a beauty blender and the other half of my face with a brush, and then we'll see how we'll do. I also purchased the Nars Creamy Radiance concealer. I have used this concealer before, so this is a repurchase, and I've got it in the colour Dark One Cafe. And literally it's because I'm replacing anything Tarte that I have at the moment, just whilst they get their house in order. So I'm just going to stop using my Tarte products and use this. So this concealer is actually my favourite. It's only because this ran out before that I started using the Tarte one, so I just thought, right, perfect time to start using it again. The concealer done. Right, so let's do this foundation. And so it's usual, one fluid ounce, 30 millilitres, and I'm going, as I said, I'm going to do one half of my face with a sponge and the other half with a brush. And guess what I didn't do? Let's just prep my face first. Before I put the foundation on, one of my oily skin hacks is to just put a light layer of setting powder on my face, and it just kind of sets all the primer in, and it's another barrier to oil production. Right, that's one pump. Let's see what one pump does. Let me bring you in. One pump is giving very light coverage on that side of my face. So I'm just going to do another pump, and then I'll move to the other side and use the brush. Don't get much in a pump actually, so Okay, so there we go. We've got two pumps on this side of my face, nothing on this side of my face as yet. The colour does look warm, but I don't mind the warmth. It's actually okay. Coverage is definitely medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's full because I can still see my skin poking through along here. It looks like it's drying down to a natural matte finish, but we will get a proper overall look of how it dries down once I've done the other side of my face. So this side was with the sponge. It does feel very light, very comfortable, doesn't feel heavy at all, which is all good as far as I'm concerned. Okay, let me do the other side of my face now with a brush. So I'm just going to use my Sigma F80 flat kabuki brush. Okay, one of the things I do as well, this is all part of the oily skin stuff, so you'll see me do these little strange things. Just spray my brush with a setting spray before I put the foundation on. So let's do one pump. one pump, and I already prefer the finish with the brush, definitely. Again, it just looks better, it looks more blended in rather than with the beauty blender. But one pump looks rather nice actually, quite like how that looks. So I'm going to do another pump, and then I'm just going to go all over my whole face and just blend the whole face in. How it all looks. I like it. It's a very nice natural finish. The colour isn't quite right. I don't know if you can tell with the camera because I've got my ring lights on and I've got the room light on as well. I mean, it's very warm compared to my neck and my chest. Very warm indeed. But I don't know what to do. I mean, what can we do? What can we do? I'm fine with it. I don't look Oompa Loompa-ish, but there is a definite difference in colour. It just looks red. What I might do actually is Macao, just to see if I can lighten it a bit. If I just use it around the centre of my face, the Macao sample, see if that just makes a little bit of a difference. This is probably a really bad idea, but I'm going to give it a go. So this is the Macao. Just using the lid, and I'm just going to use a sponge and see if I can, oh god, I've probably taken too much. Right, see if it just makes a bit of a difference. Some of the big YouTubers who are sort of also makeup artists as well, they've got that experience. I've seen them use lighter colours in the centre of their face and sort of darker colours around the perimeter. I'm just thinking in particular someone like Destiny Godly, she does that. I think I just made myself worse. I've just made it worse. I look awful. It looks really cakey now. Oh shit, I've gone too far. Oh dear. I just had to take it too far, didn't I? I really did. Oh sugar. How am I going to correct this? Oh bloody hell. Right. I can correct this. It just looks way too much now. It looks too cakey. Oh god, what have I done? It's awful. Right, okay. I'm going to see if I can try and rectify this. God's sake, you know when some people just shouldn't be let anywhere near makeup? Yeah, I'm one of those. Oh god, I look awful. I'm looking in the camera and it just looks, ah! Oh, this is not good. Anyway, let me give you the time of application. So it's coming up to 9 o'clock. Let me get the clock app up. So it's 5 to 9. And yeah, oh shit. I'm gonna try and set my face and see if I can do something with what I've just done. What is wrong with me? Okay, right, so it's 5 to 9. My aim is always to wear the foundation for at least 6-7 hours, just a sort of one normal work day sort of thing. And then I'll come back to you at the end of the day. I review the foundation using my system called TOPS, and that stands for Transfer, Oil Control, Performance. So whether the foundation melts, fades or separates. The price in comparison to other foundations in the same sort of bracket as that, and the shade selection available. So let me see if I can just do something with this, and I'll come back to you with my finished face in a moment. Oh gee. I think I managed to blend the face in so it looks okay now. I'm actually quite happy with how it looks. Probably a little bit too heavy with the contour on that side, but that's just me. I never get it right each day. I always do something just a little bit wrong every day. Just something that I notice, and if anybody looks closer they'll see where I've gone wrong. But overall I think the foundation looks alright. Probably could have blended it in better up here, so we'll take a note of that to see how that looks later on in the day. I might see if I can get a little bit more coverage just in that area up here, but I think overall it looks alright. It looks a natural finish. I kind of like how it's kind of looking with the new crochet braids. What are we thinking about this look? Just think I'll keep my hair like this for the next couple of weeks. I've ordered some new wigs, so we'll see. We'll wait for those to arrive. So in the meantime, I thought I'd just put these crochet braids in. But yeah, so I think overall this looks okay. So I will see you all in about 7 hours, 8 hours, and we will do the assessment of how this foundation will. Good evening, I'm back. Right, I have had a decentish day of testing out the foundation today, and the foundation I was testing was the Nars Radiant Longwear Finish Weightless, whatever it's called, that one anyway, the recently launched one. I've been wearing the foundation for about 7 hours. I tell you what, let me just show you the time now. Okay. Right, okay, so it's about 7.5 hours I've been wearing the foundation for. How did the foundation feel today? It's actually felt very comfortable wearing it today. I've had no issues. Every time I've gone into the bathroom at work, I always take a sort of double take because I can see how much foundation I put on. Just remember, I did kind of overdo it with the foundation this morning. So that's always a factor. I think if I didn't put that second, third, whatever fourth coat it was, I think it may have looked a lot better. But for how the foundation has felt all day, it's felt very comfortable. I did get oily, as you can see, so I have been getting oily, and that's literally in the last, say, 2-3 hours I've been starting to show more oil. The oil always looks worse now at this time of day because I have the ring lights on and the light bounces off the oil off my face, so it looks a lot worse than it actually is. I'm going to bring the camera in now so you can see how the foundation has done on my face. So just to remind you, my review consists of the top system which I created. So the T stands for transfer, the O stands for oil control, the P stands for performance, does it fade, melt or separate, the second P stands for price, so is the price good value for what it is, and the S is the shade selection. So I do the transfer and the oil control together, and I use my blotting sheets. A decent foundation for me will use 2 to 2.5 sheets. A poor performing foundation will use 4 to 5 sheets easily. Right, so when I use these sheets, I'm looking for the oil and I'm looking to see how much foundation transfers on this. So shall we do this? We've got 2.5 sheets, which is pretty good. So this was, let's have a look. Right, yeah, this was sheet 1. So that's the one that had the most of the oil on there, and I don't know if it's showing up clearly on this. There's a little bit of foundation transfer on the top there, and then just a little bit down here as well. So that was sheet 1. Sheet 2, less oil, and again just sparing amount of foundation transfer, not much again, hardly anything worth talking about. And this was the mop-up sheet, sheet 3, again oil and a little bit of foundation again. So we've had 2.5 sheets, so for me that is what I expect from a decent performing foundation. So I am going to say for transfer, I'm going to say 9.5 for that, because there is some transfer but not a lot, especially for a 7.5 hour day. That's not bad, so I'm going to say 9.5 out of 10 for that. Oil control, yeah, well, oil did come through, there's no doubt about it. I did get oil, and it wasn't all over oil as well. It wasn't just in little places, it was all over. So I'm going to say for oil control, I'm going to give 7.5. No, I'm going to drop that. I'm going to give 7 out of 10 because oil did come through. So, you know, there you go. So 7 out of 10 for oil control. For performance, now I am looking at my face, and now that I've taken all the oil off, I like what I am seeing. I really like what I'm seeing. So the foundation, it applied easily, it blended on easily, it looked decent using the beauty blender. I preferred it with the brush application. It was very nice. If anything, I used less foundation when I used the brush to apply it. It hasn't oxidized, which I thought it would, but it hasn't really oxidized on my face. And again, I don't know if it's because I use like 2 different colors on my face, I don't know, but I don't think it's oxidized at all. I think the color has remained true on my face. I think it has faded a little bit on my forehead, which is the typical area up here, but again, saying that, in my job I do wear a hat, and I wear a white hat when I go out and do inspections, and obviously I'm going into oily kitchens, and that's why I start getting hot and sweaty in my face. So on my white hat I noticed a little bit of foundation transfer, just a little bit, and that's bloody good if I say so myself. That's hardly anything, because usually when I wear foundations I get just a brown rim from me from the foundation, so it's only a little bit. So I think that's the fading I've got up here from the hat I was wearing along here. Just a little bit of fading in the usual places, up on my upper cheeks along here. Yeah, chin around here, again just a little bit of fading around here. Actually, there's been more fading along here, and that's probably when I've been resting my hand when I've been writing reports. When I'm writing reports I do sit like that and I think about what I'm writing and I write with my right hand. So that is probably just from me resting on my face, so there has been some fading there. So I think so fading there has been. No melting, no separating, which I think is really good, considering I did go into a very oily kitchen and I did become very shiny at one point. I would say that it's not completely fade resistant. It's definitely not transfer resistant. I think, what's the other thing they said about it? I think they said fade resistant, transfer resistant. They said something else as well. What did they say? Transfer resistant, sweat resistant, fade resistant. Well, it's not transfer resistant and it's not fade resistant, so we can definitely go against that. And I hate it when foundations make that claim, especially when it's not going to do that. So I think because they've made those claims and it clearly hasn't got those qualities, it's going to affect the score on the performance. So for performance I am going to give it, even though it still looks pretty good, I am going to give it a 6.5 or 7. I'm going to give it because they've made those claims, I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10, because they did make those claims and it's clearly not all of that, but it has performed really well. No, I'm going to give it a 7. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 for performance. For price, £35. I actually think that's really expensive. I think it's too expensive for what it is compared to other foundations that are out there that perform really well. The one I'm going to compare this to completely is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro on me, which is £29. That is more palatable to me. £35 is too expensive. I mean, I'm happy with the foundation and I'm more than happy to wear it. Again, if I compare that to the Bobbi Brown one, which is this one which I was trying out last week, because I was wearing this quite happily last week. This one faded a bit more than that one did. But the Bobbi Brown one was £31. This is £35. As I said, I think it's too expensive. So I think for price, it's not good. I think, yeah, I'm going to give this 6.5 out of 10 for the price, because I think it's too expensive for what it is. It's a good foundation, but it's too expensive. So that's price. And shade selection, well, they've got 33 shades and the shades are pretty good. I know there's some new shades in there. I think they've got a good level of undertones. I think if you're in my range, so I'm in what I'd call classic dark, but I couldn't see a dark with a proper neutral undertone. So even this one I'm wearing today is a little bit too red, and you saw I felt I had to mix it with the Macao to give it more of a yellow. I don't really want to be mixing 2 foundations. No, not especially when they're £35 each, because you know, that's 70 quid. I ain't doing that. And I normally don't like, if I'm going to mix a foundation, then those foundations better be under £10 each. So you know what I mean. I just think that is too expensive and I don't want to be mixing colours. So I don't think they've got all of the undertones they possibly could have for darker skin tones. So I think for shade selection it is good. 33 shades, it's actually very good. I don't think they've covered all the undertones. So again, I don't know what the undertones are like in the other extreme of the spectrum, in the fair and light scale, but I know in the dark deep scale I don't think all the undertones are covered. So I think for shade selection, 33 shades, not all the undertones, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. So that is my final score. You know I can't add it all up, but I'll put all the scores up along here somewhere or along there somewhere. But if you've got this foundation, tell me what you think. Just bear in mind that it is £35 in the UK, and I think in the US it's something like $46. It ain't cheap. So what do you think? £35, $46-ish for it, 33 shades, not completely transfer resistant, not completely fade resistant, not completely sweat resistant. What do you think? But it's Nars. So what do you think? Let me know down below if this is a foundation that you have tried. Tell me what your thoughts are about it. You know, just what your experiences are, and is it something that you would consider buying? Right, I want to say, before I go, I want to say thank you for all of the new subscribers who have been subscribing recently. Thanks and welcome to my little channel. I want to remind everybody that I am still doing my 500 subscriber giveaway. So I'm not far from there now. I think I'm about 25 short. So I'm about 475 subscribers. So I really want to get to that 500 subscriber giveaway. And when I get to 500 subscribers, I'm giving away a brush set. All you've got to do to enter is just tell me what you got for Christmas. And did you get what you wanted? Did you get what you asked for? Was it what you expected? Just let me know down below. The winner will be picked out by my niece, so you've got to subscribe to my channel obviously, and I will notify the winner usually by Instagram. So it'll be very useful if you are on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, then the only other way for me to contact you is by your Google mail account. So good luck, please enter, because my next competition is going to be for my 1000 subscriber, and that will be a good little giveaway. So okay, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to give me the like down below if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.